What's up guys, and welcome back to Ask for Music and Tutorials. As you can see, the neck brace is off my neck. I am finally pain-free and I am back to making music. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in my previous video I was in a neck brace because I had injured my neck and my back, and I was just creatively very down. But a lot of you guys had some kind words to tell me, and I'm very grateful for that. Now I'm excited to make music again. Now myself and a lot of other producers will agree that the Soft Piano by Labs is the best, the #1 free piano plugin. It was the reigning king for so long. Until recently. At least I think it was recently. I don't know exactly when this happened, but the Soft Piano has finally been dethroned. But the good news is it was dethroned by Labs themselves. Labs has come up with a new piano library, bigger and better than the Soft Piano. I guarantee you, you are in for a surprise. Now let's get into the video. So this is a library that I was talking about, the Intimate Grand Piano. I really don't know when this released, but I just recently found it and went through the sounds a few days ago. And oh my god, I was surprised. Unlike the Soft Piano, which only has one preset, this has multiple presets, and each one of these sounds are just heavenly. But the Intimate Piano is amazing. Obviously, I'm gonna try and make a sleepy lo-fi / ambient beat using the sound, because both the Soft Piano and the Intimate Grand Piano are best catered to a soft sound like that, unlike the upbeat stuff that I usually make. So yeah, let's make a chord progression. I'm just gonna pretend that was my first attempt at this recording, not my 4th or 5th. I have to get better at using the metronome. It's like ridiculous at this point. Obviously, my velocities are all over the place. What I like to do when I find a new piano is I like to see how the tone sounds depending on where you keep the velocity. For example, if I keep it all the way high, this is what it sounds like. The tone, oh, such a high quality recording. When you keep the velocities up on high, you can really hear each detail of the recording. Now I'm gonna drop the velocity down to the sleepy lo-fi soothing level, which is basically below this line. There's not a lot of difference in the velocities. One is actually just louder than the other. This is actually meant to be an intimate and soft piano. Because of that, I'm gonna keep it right there. That is so good. So now you can just go to the Labs plugin itself and just increase the volume. So the piano already sounds so good. I don't feel like it needs any additional reverb or anything. It just sounds so ambient and intimate. All I did, I added a multi-band compressor with the warmer preset. I always add this plugin to my pianos just to get a little bit more out of the sound. Secondly, I have this EQ. Another thing I add to my pianos, I always make sure to take off a little bit of the bass and sometimes even a bit of the low mids just to get rid of that low rumble, because these soft pianos will have a lot of low end. So you have to make sure that doesn't clash with any of the other sounds, especially the bass. So yeah, we have our chord progression. Just a 4-bar, neat, simple chord progression. So now I'm gonna load in another Labs. Now I'm gonna be making a piano lead, and for that I'm gonna be using the Soft Drama. I just went through all the sounds again and I realized that Soft Drama actually sounds so well with the chord progression. Now, I know I said piano lead, but it isn't technically going to be a lead. It's going to be more of a counter melody, something just to enhance the chord progression, in my opinion. So let's see what I can do with that. don't think I've ever heard a piano sound so good in my headphones. I'm getting this feeling like this may be the greatest piano that I've ever used of all time. This just sounds unreal in my ears. Now, it could be because it's a new plugin, I'm not used to the sound, and I've been using Imagiro for so long and my ears have just become accustomed to that sound. I have a hard time believing, I always have a hard time believing that Labs is free. We don't deserve Labs, man. We really don't. And for the effects, it's basically the same as the chord progression. The only thing I did differently was I added this wider and I boosted it up to like 48% and made sure that only the frequencies above 263 hertz will get widened, because you don't want to widen the low end. The low end should always be in mono, no matter the sound. Anyway, that's that. I'm just gonna add a quick bass. I just need the sound of a bass in my ear. So for the bass, I have a radiator to boost it a little bit, and a fruity parametric EQ where I cut the high end a little bit, a lot actually, up to the mids. And I also lowered the bass just a tiny bit. I don't want it to have such an intense boom sound, which may clash with the low end of the piano, because the piano already has a lot of low end. So you want the two sounds to like gel together. Now I'm gonna add a little acoustic guitar, because I like adding acoustic guitar to my sleepy and ambient lo-fi, just to set myself apart from the rest. I think I have something for an acoustic guitar, just something very simple complementing the counter melody. So I'm gonna show you the guitar again, and it's gonna sound a little different than the way I recorded it. So this is a little trick that I started doing recently, and this is how I got that sound. First off, just make sure you cut off that low end like I did with the other sounds. Also cut off a little bit of the high ends as well, because you're gonna need it for this trick. Next, I use this Valhalla Supermassive with the Shoulders of Orion preset. I make sure to low cut about 400 hertz, and also turn the mix knob down to about 22-23%, doesn't really matter. The key ingredient, this OTT plugin, it brings out each detail of the reverb that you put on. I don't really know how to describe it, but this is what gives it that sound. And finally, a wider, to just widen the sound a little bit more, and altogether you get this sound. I feel like it's such a good mix filler. Because of the textured sound, it'll make your mix sound more interesting. So yeah. So I'm gonna take another Labs, go back to the intimate piano, and now we're gonna make a lead. And for the lead, I'm gonna be using the dynamic sound. Okay, we got the piano lead down. Now, I do want to add a lot more stuff. I want to add pads to make it more ambient. But for now, I'm just going to add a drum loop and just call it a day. So I actually like the sound and like the direction the song is heading in. It might just finish the full beat and release it. I think it has a lot of potential. But yeah, anyway, that's not the point of the video. The point of the video was the intimate grand piano. Let me know in the comments if you agree that this is the new best free piano plugin. It definitely is for me. As much as I love the soft piano, I'm sad to say, in my opinion, it has been dethroned. I'm just happy that it was dethroned by the same company, by the same plugin itself. Labs, they just continue to push the boundaries. They keep one-upping themselves. Even though they came down a little bit when it comes to the aesthetics, I think it's time we let that go because, be honest, their sounds definitely make up for everything. I still have a hard time believing that it's a free plugin. So yeah, Intimate Grand Piano. Make sure to go check it out. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week.